Okay, today's magical painting event is going to be using a canvas that I started doing another painting on, teaching a kid how to paint, and that's about how far that went. Here's the scene. It's out over there somewhere. I think I'm going to just, get the path, some trees, maybe some of that in there, bring it all forward like you're walking down a cute little path. And so I'm fresh off the fourth place win at San Clemente. Now we're going to do this Molten Museum thing. It's pretty low key from what I can tell. I don't know, I think it's the second year they're doing it. Anyway, let's get to work here. We have a blanco, yellow, blue, red, and that's about all we're going to work with today. So, the idea is just do something real quick, expressive, just kind of get a feeling, an idea for a painting to do here for this show. That's it. All right. Remember, picking out your brushes is kind of key to what kind of feeling you're going to get. So, is this it? Is that it? Do we want Mr. Scratchy? Do we want something? Anyway. Also, today's peaceful painting is brought to you by I'm at the Dapple Grey Park in Nellie Gail Ranch. If you know where that is, that's good for you. Okay, we're just mixing up some paints here, keeping it thin. I want something kind of dark. Really thin. We're using a Treco Golden Teclon. I don't know what that is. Anyway. Crooked. Okay, let's do this, guys. Alright, we flipped it upside down because I think it's going to mess my brain up. You don't want to mess your brain up too early in the day. After nap time, it's fine, but not before nap time. Okay, let's do this here. I'm just going to go ahead and, like the drawing part, I think, as sadly as it is, I think that's kind of my drawing. I just want this and this, and I want this path to just kind of come in here and, come out here. So I can kind of see this path is just kind of, there, and then I've got some brushes here that are gonna kind of set the foreground there. We're just trying to put in a background menage, I guess you can go. I don't know, like just a little bit of a background, because we're going to paint all over this, but we just want to kind of set the feeling of it. There's no trees I'm painting here. This is all trees and shit, whatever. But the whole point is this is just kind of a, I guess you can call it just like a color study in a way. You're just trying to put in some feeling in there. This is a little bit different from a different way of doing this, where you put in very specific brush strokes, like put in like brush strokes here, brush strokes there. Instead, what I'm trying to do is just kind of build up an underlying background texture at this point. Okay, that's all I'm really doing. Some people call it toning your canvas. Doing the fast tone, but instead of doing a painting that is, really taking my time, I'm trying to do this as a fast, quick study. It's not supposed to be a, take your time and do the painting that's going to be in this and that and whatever. I'm just the whole point is to try and just get a quick gestural sketch down. I don't want this painting to take more than 45 minutes to an hour, basically. That's the idea. That's the mindset I'm going into this painting. Now, when I come back out here for the actual painting event, have a little bit different mindset going, and that's the whole point. This is like, if you do if you ever take a figure drawing class, which you should. If you have an atelier that does it, I'm going to I just signed up. I'm going to take some figure painting class at the local JC here. And the reason I'm doing that is because, hopefully I get discounts on some software that I want to get. But other than that, it's a great way to get take a class that is, pretty reasonable, to be honest with you. In terms of cost, and it's a big, the rooms are pretty big and this and that, and it's instructor led, and, you get a lot of amateurs and what have you. It kind of makes it a pain in the ass sometimes. But needless to say, taking a class at your local JC is a great way to just kind of get some good, figure time in, especially if you don't have one around you. There you go. And so usually, the class starts with a warm-up. Let's do some warm-up quick sketches, and you're just blowing through paper and doing like these 30-second and then a couple minutes, maybe 3 minutes, whatever. Sketches, and then, you usually end up with like an hour or something like that. But you don't just, show up and start doing the 3-hour stuff, And one of the other ateliers I was at, that's what they do, is like you just show up and it's like, okay, we're doing 3-hour pose, and you're like, man, you need to loosen up a little, But this painting is a loosen up type of painting. One of the other things about painting that you should really do is, go out instead of always painting all the time. Is do take the time to go out and do some just quick sketches. Just even drawings. I'm going to do a drawing painting here with you guys. But the idea is that you're just doing just a drawing. Like 3-4 values, just a drawing, just to see how it turns out. And that is really, really important sometimes. I mean, like, not every time you go out painting has to be a, freaking plein air masterpiece, You can just enjoy the painting process and not so much worried about trying to get something that's sellable and this and that. You just want to, work on your colors, maybe work on your composition a little, maybe work on this or that. It's totally fine to do. Just video it and you put it on YouTube. All right, let's see. We're gonna get this. So this path is a really important part of the painting because it's what's leading my eye up and through the painting. So it's really important. So it's important to know that when you're mixing your color, you're really trying to, especially with my patented color mixing ideas here, is to really mix it well on your palette to really get the effect you're going for here. And if you don't, well, then you end up with something. Even on the scene, it doesn't show through because of trees, but I want to make this really, just giving me a little more depth in here. I am going to show this, the background hill coming through a little bit more. But we're going to come back in and cover some of that up. Alright, so now I've got a foundation laid in. Okay, now we got a foundation laid in. Contrast. Got shape there. If we like it, we like where it's going, we're going to refine this probably just a little bit more. Don't do that. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to start with this area here and then kind of put here to there to there. Because what we want to do is just create some texture here, Now, it's interesting though that some paintings I see, like I like seeing a lot of texture, and then I'll see other paintings like, oh my god, that guy's so awesome, and it's like it's just no texture. So the trick is, what am I doing? Especially since you have something this dense and you know, you really need to simplify the hell out of it. You know, you really need to simplify this. But, you know, how much simplifying do you do versus, you know, giving it some interest and texture. You know, you do the whole kaleidoscope thing where you want to see some harmony, and, you know, you think of the whole thing as just music. That is a pretty cool idea. You know, but how does he translate that? Well, you gotta think about it, you know. Think about how that translates to your painting. Doing some Okay, now back to this tree up over here. We're using the same puddle of color, but I'm using a lot more yellow because I want to get it like a little bit more brighter in a way that, you know, like the sun's hitting it on that side, even though it's not, because you know, because it's, you know, it's a little more tonal as you go back. You know, you don't get too crazy with your colors because you're gonna, you know, you just want everything to be pretty tight in its values there. So yeah, so it's important to simplify, you know. Now let's bring this up. I'm a little okay with that back there. I'm just gonna knock it back just a little, see what we get. Alright, so we're coming back in. Now we're going to keep this puddle pretty warm here. Alright, so even though we got the blues, we got a lot of yellow, a lot of red, no white yet. Okay, there's no white, but it's just yellow, red, and blue. And let's just see what we got in here right now. Okay, so it's pretty close match, so I'm okay with that. Now let's do some edge work here, and some details. And then vary it up a little, like I'm going to put just a little more yellow warmth in there, just a titch of white just to brighten it up a little, and this will be our crown of this stuff. And just a little bit of detail here. So I'm going to use the same color that I just made those bushes with, but I'm going to add some red and blue. Okay, mix it all up real good. Get a good mix going. Get a good mix going. Okay, so let's put in a couple of twiggy branches here. You know, they're happy little twigs. Okay. And granted, here in Nellie Gail Ranch, you're not supposed to be. I don't know. You're supposed to be happy if you're super rich or not. I don't know. But Nellie Gail Ranch is, it's not the peasants living here, I'll tell you that much. Ledge work, break up some planes, make some planes, happy little accidents, not so happy accidents. Take a step back. So this is the point in the painting where you step back, take a look, see if it's good, not this and that, who knows. But remember, the whole idea was I just wanted to I'll just do a quick little study just to see how it goes, see if this is a good spot. I think it'll be a good spot. It's a good spot. And that's about it. So here we have the painting once again. Also, I didn't put up a shade, so this is in full sun, so I don't know. All right, I think that's about it. So remember, I'm not a hot chick doing a guy's hobby, so be sure to click on the like button. I think that helps in the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And then stay tuned for some more fun videos.